Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the kitchen table this Wednesday afternoon. It's Alison Southern here from Melksham Team Ministry. As we gather today, I have been thinking about yesterday, a day where as a nation we paused to reflect, to remember, to give ourselves that moment, just to draw breath almost. 1 year on from the first lockdown. Who would have believed back then that we would be here still at this point? I think many of us, maybe even the pessimistic ones amongst us, thought this could go on for months. We might still be doing this in 6 months' time. Who would have thought that here we are a year later? We are stood on that brink of hope with vaccinations available here and across the world. The scientists have done an amazing job. I have to confess to being a pessimist and thinking a year ago that we may have to wait 10 years for a vaccine for this particular strain. They've done an amazing job. And here in Britain, our NHS have rolled out the vaccination like nothing I could have dreamt of. And for so many of us, we have that protection of the first jab, and even for some of us, the second jab. That is something to give thanks for. But yesterday was about taking that moment to remember the hundreds of thousands of people affected by loss, not just to COVID deaths, but to other deaths during this COVID period. A time where we think of not just those who have died, but of all those parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, colleagues, affected by the loss of each and every person. Last night we were invited to light a candle or a torch, something to signify light, and to put it on our doorstep. We did just that, putting a candle out on the vicarage doorstep, and I know many of you will have done the same. It made me think about how often we turn to light in moments of darkness. How often the candle symbolises that moment of hope. It may be at the grave of someone who has been murdered. It may be in a place where a huge tragic event has happened. People will light a candle and they will use it as a focus of prayer and of hope. That seems all the more significant for me at the moment as we journey through Lent. Lent is often a time of struggle, internal struggles, thinking about the world and the number of people who are struggling in the world, those who hunger, those who lack clean water, those who are in the midst of war, oppression and pain. Lent is a time where the focus on those difficulties is really keen. Lent comes to an end as we enter into Passion. This Sunday we celebrate Palm Sunday. The waving of palm leaves, the shouting of hosannas as Jesus enters into Jerusalem. That is a moment of celebration, a moment where the people who were gathered around Jesus were filled with hope. And yet those same people shifted and turned and ended up shouting, "Crucify him." Palm Sunday begins the week of the Passion, where we think about that journey that Jesus took from entering the gates of Jerusalem towards the cross, towards death, but ultimately towards resurrection, that light bursting into our world, Christ unable to be held back, the tomb being empty, and our world changed forever. For all those who spent that time yesterday remembering a loved one, for all those for whom there was a really personal moment of grief and loss, I would say that I share in that sense of loss and grief. My own mum died just before lockdown. My brother-in-law died just at the same time. And yesterday we heard the sad news that my cousin had lost his battle with cancer after a very short fight. Too short. So grief is real, and I wouldn't deny it to anyone. The pain can make you feel like your darkness is going to invade every aspect of your life, always. But I offer you hope too, that the light of Christ entering into the world does bring hope. Just as the vaccination brings hope against COVID, Jesus came that our world might be transformed. He was, if you like, that vaccination that takes away sin and darkness and offers life beyond the here and the now. So to light a candle, to pause and to remember, to give thanks for lives lived that touched you, touched so many people. As a nation, there are hundreds and thousands of people with stories to tell, with love in their hearts, with memories that will be theirs forever. And as we paused to give thanks for the NHS, for the care workers, for all key workers, as we pause and give thanks that there is hope and that there is life, I hope you will know that love of God that is in our world. And I hope it will give you strength, as it gives me strength. Be kind to yourselves. Take time to know your grief, to feel your loss. But in there, don't forget that light that is yours, never leaving you on your own, walking alongside into a future that is different, but is full of promise. We will be in church on Sunday morning at St Michael's for a Palm Sunday service, and we'll have one here too from the kitchen table. Enter into that journey of hope through Easter. And if you want to chat, if you're feeling like it would be good to have a connection with somebody, to speak to somebody about your loss, then do be in touch. And know that you are not on your own. Take care and God bless. Bye for now.